Hi T-Birds, update here for PE. We're going to have some videos coming up with skills, drills, games for PE. You don't need to have the best range of sporting equipment for doing the things that we ask you to do. Everyone got a ball in their pack. Okay, and we're going to do plenty of things with that ball, but otherwise we're going to have things, could be obstacle course type stuff, and we're going to look for things that you've got laying around the home, and there'll be more on those videos that explain what we want you to do in those ones that are upcoming. Okay, but the things that I suggest, if you do have, get them pumped up or get them in a collection in a box ready to go for those PE days. So it could even be some days, it could be just a couple of buckets that we've got. We can be having to throw things into, okay, and we can challenge you with different distances. Okay, sometimes some good little markers you could use, you know, you might find some different rocks or sticks if you haven't got cones laying around. Other things that would be really handy to have as well are obviously different types of balls. So if you've got footballs or whatever, that's fine. Okay, soccer ball, basketball, whatever you've got, all those things are great. Also, socks. Rolled up socks can be really good to use for balls and throwing activities as well, okay? They can be really handy. So if you've got all those things sorted for us, Mr. D, myself, and even a couple of other teachers as well are going to put together some videos of skills, drills, games, and they'll be there to do every day of the week for 30 minutes because PE, physical activity, is really important to do for at least 30 minutes every day. And don't forget those fitness exercises. I'll be putting in a couple of circuits. You can get mum and dad out, squats, push-ups, keeping our heart rate up and getting some fitness in as well. Stay tuned. Hi T-Birds, a couple of drills now. First drill is going to be used with a bigger ball if you have it, okay? What we're looking to do is just practice some basic catching. Get a brother or sister, doesn't matter if they're younger, older, mum or dad, whoever it's going to be, to throw you the ball and practice these skills. Do 10, 20 of them, back and forth, whatever it may be, okay? If you have to bounce it off a brick wall, you've got to bounce it off a brick wall, throw it in the air, does not matter. Our main focus with all of these drills is going to be to keep your eye on the ball, because a lot of the time we look away or we don't watch it into our hands. Watch the ball, keep your eye on the ball. So I want to see a couple of chest marks, okay? So you throw the ball out, hugging it in nice and tight, still keeping the eye on the ball. So get a couple of those. Another chest mark. Okay, I'm watching it all the way. Remember, a big thing I always talk about with catching is a lot of people just want to move their arms. Our feet are the key. Light on our toes, ready to always grab that ball when it comes your way. Okay, then once you do 10, 20 chest marks with your partner, I want to see catching it out in your hands as well. Okay, here we go, throwing it out in the hands and catching it in my hands, okay? Catching it in my hands again, watching the ball all the way. Okay, ready to move my feet if I have to move my feet so I can get the perfect situation and make sure I'm ready to move towards it, okay? So catching. Obviously that means we're going to be throwing it as well. At this stage, I'm not too worried about what sort of pass you've got. I just want to make sure you're throwing it around about their chest, neck height, so we can get those chest marks and out in the hands. We'll worry about throwing in the upcoming videos. Okay, T-Birds, just a little bit of a focus on throwing the ball now, or in this case, passing first. So you would have been just doing some chest marking and some out in front at a short distance. As we're progressing in sport, we want to make sure that we're throwing the ball or passing the ball harder and faster to keep the ball away from the opposition. Okay, what I want you to do with the big ball is to just do, again, as you're mastering the skills of catching the ball quite well, I want you to start to push that distance back further and further, okay? Not crazy, we don't want to be doing massive big half-court passes because they're just going to make sure the opposition can really easily get it. But a nice distance away with a bit of firmness in it. Make sure your partner's able to catch that ball or be back far enough that can bounce in front of them first for safety reasons. We're going to focus on the big chest pass. So what I want you to do is have the ball up in your hands and I want you to look where your partner is. I want you to step towards your partner and release that ball at the same time. That generates that force and that power, okay? So from here, I'm going to step and I'm going to pass that ball, okay? Again, same thing, I'm gonna step and pass that ball. Practice 10, 20 of those for me. All right, it's time to get that tennis ball out, okay? Now with our tennis ball, Obviously a little bit different with our catching of the ball, but I want you to still again practice 10, 20 of that skill. So what I want you to do is to think about when and how do we catch this tennis ball. Clearly having our hands apart trying to catch it in is not going to be good because the ball's going to go straight through our arms unless we're really, really good at getting our elbows in. So what I want you to do is to think hands together or hands together facing upwards, depending on which way is going to be the best way to go about it. The general rule is if it's coming and dropping down below my stomach hip height, I want to get my hands down. And again, moving our feet and keeping our eye on the ball is the key. If the ball is coming more up above our chest and upwards, we want to get our hands this way so we can catch it with the fingers up. Basic rule. I know some of us are more advanced and might catch it one hand. That happens. But in sport, if you're playing cricket, for example, and you had a chance to win the match, you wouldn't want to drop it by just going for a one-hander. Get really good at the skills with two hands. And then if you happen to take a really good one-hander, fantastic, okay? So I want to see a couple of different throws. So one of them might come at me, throw it over, and it was about my stomach height. It's a tough one, but I was able to move my feet and get to it in the right spot. If it's thrown a little bit higher, I might have to get underneath it with my hands up. Or maybe it might be thrown a little bit lower, down towards my knees. Okay, and I might have to drop really quickly, keep my eye on the ball, moving my feet, and making sure I wait until that ball is in my hands before I look up and do anything else. So try practicing now with your catching with a tennis ball. I would love for you and your partner to have 10, 15 down low, 10, 15 up high, okay, back and forth. Okay, and our last one for catching and throwing is now throwing the tennis ball. The perfect thing is after all our athletics vortex throwing, I know that you're going to have the side-on technique. You're going to be able to point where you want to throw the ball, and you're going to be able to come back and lift back with that elbow, and you're going to be able to follow through, bending your hips and your legs towards your partner where you're throwing. Start lightly, okay? If your partner's not that best at catching it, let it bounce in front of them, and they can just pick it up on the bounce, and we can throw the ball back and forward from there, okay? So we want to make sure standing, the younger you are, just stand still and point. If you're a little bit older, you'll be able to start to do a bit more of a step and throw, okay, with the ball. I would love you just to do those passes and catching, get 15, 20 of those in. But finally, put yourself under a bit of a challenge. Set up some buckets, set up whatever it might be, and try to pick some spots to stand from and try to hit that target, okay? If you're trying to hit a bucket, have the target there and try to aim the ball to hit down below it. So at least if it bounces, it can still come back up and hit that bucket. You're not going over the top of the bucket, okay? Finally, if you're really, really advanced, maybe your partner can treat it a little bit like cricket. Throw the ball out in front of you or beside you. You have to run over, pick the ball up, and as you're picking it up, you've got to turn and try to throw and hit that target, okay? A little bit of pressure on me right now. Let's give a green bucket. Set it up there. Ball's on the ground. I'm going to pick it up, aim, hit, over the top. Hopefully you can do better than me at home. I'd love to see some videos of what you've been up to with that one there. Keep practicing those skills. They'll come in handy on our game that we're going to play later in the week.